Most parents start the puberty talk too late. They wait for a sign, they wait for a question, or they wait until something happens and then think, oh, okay, I probably should have talked about this already. And look, after more than 30 years in sex education and as a neurodivergent parent myself, this is one of the most common things I see. Parents, they're not trying to do the wrong thing. Most of the time, they're just trying not to say too much, or they're hoping there's still plenty of time. But usually, waiting makes it harder because then the first real puberty conversation happens when your child is already confused, embarrassed, or worried. A lot of parents, they're told to wait for signs, wait for body odor, wait for hair, body hair to grow, wait for mood changes, wait until it feels relevant. I actually don't think that works very well because by the time the signs are obvious, your child may already be noticing that something's changing and not really knowing what it means. And when kids don't know what's going on, they usually fill in the blanks themselves. And that's where fear comes in. That's when a first period feels scary, or an erection feels worrying, or body changes just feel weird and uncomfortable instead of normal. Bodies don't wait for us to feel ready. So waiting until puberty is obvious often means you've left it later than you needed to. What I see a lot of parents thinking is, no, not yet. Their child is still too young, or they seem uninterested, or they're still, immature in other ways compared to their peers. So the parent assumes that the puberty talk can wait. But look, bodies don't really care about that. And especially with neurodivergent kids, giving them information earlier can actually help them a lot because often they do better with clear information ahead of time rather than trying to make sense of it once something's already started happening. Now, the good news is this doesn't have to be a huge talk. You don't need to sit down and explain every single thing about puberty in one go. You just want to give them enough information so that their body doesn't start doing weird or new things with no explanation at all. So before puberty starts, I want kids to know that bodies change as people grow up. I want them to know that puberty happens over time. It doesn't happen all at once. And I want them to know that different people start at different ages and bodies don't always change in the same order. And then I want them to have a basic idea that periods can happen, erections can happen, hair grows in new places, sweat and body odor can change, and emotions can get a bit bigger for a while. And that's enough for a start. You're not trying to cover everything. You're just making sure it isn't all a shock. This is really about giving your child a heads up, a thumbs up. It's about helping them know what's coming before it happens. Because it's so much easier for a child to think, oh, okay, this is that thing mum told me about, than for them to think, what the hell is going on with my body? Is this normal? And that's why I would always rather parents talk about puberty before it starts and not after. Because preparation, it lowers fear. And honestly, that's true for parents as well. This is the bit where parents often get stuck. They think that once they start, they need to explain absolutely everything, say it perfectly, and somehow get the whole puberty talk right in one sitting. You really don't. You just need to start. Keep it short. Keep it factual. Keep it ordinary. You're not aiming for one big perfect talk. You're just building understanding a little bit at a time, and that's what usually works best. A few short convos is nearly always better than one giant talk that everyone dreads and forgets. You could say, as you get older, your body's going to change. And I want to explain things before they happen so you're not left guessing and so you know how to care for your body as it changes. Or you might say, puberty means your body starts doing new things, but it happens over months and years. Or you could say, different bodies change in different ways, and I'll keep talking to you about it as you grow. And it's really enough. Doesn't need to sound polished, just needs to sound like you're open to talking about it. Honestly, this has been true in real life too. Little bits of information early are usually much easier than trying to do one big catch up conversation later. Once a child is already embarrassed or worried or feeling a bit exposed, the conversation can be harder. Not impossible, it's just a tougher convo to have. So I would always rather a parent start a bit earlier and keep it simple than waiting for some perfect moment, because that perfect moment, it usually never comes. I also think a lot of parents assume that puberty only needs to be explained when it's directly relevant to their own child's body. I don't think that helps either. All kids, regardless of how young or old, need a basic understanding of periods. All kids need a basic understanding of erections. And they need to know that bodies will grow and change as they get older, because this isn't just about what happens in their body. It's also about making bodies feel less mysterious, less awkward, and less scary. So here's what I'd like you to do this week. Pick one simple sentence and say it. That's it, one sentence. As you get older, your body will change and I'll explain things before they happen. You don't need to turn it into a lecture. You're just opening the door. And once that door is open, it is much easier to come back later and to add more information. The goal here is not to give the world's best puberty talk. The goal is to make puberty feel like a normal topic in your home. Because when your child knows you'll talk about body changes clearly, calmly, and without making it weird, you then become easier to come to. And that matters much more than getting every word right. Your child, they don't need a perfect parent here. What they actually need is an askable one. So if you've been waiting for signs, this is your reminder not to wait. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to say everything. You just need to start before panic gets there first. And if you'd like a bit more help with what to say, when to say it, and how to break puberty down into simple conversations, then head over to the website, because I've got a guide for parents to puberty, but lots more resources to help you with the puberty talk. Cheers.